Cleveland Sabbath. This is all the talk. Cleveland is heated debate over if Cleveland is sabotaging Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur is just so polarizing that he's causing he's causing so many of his supporters to lift him up so high, and then just for him to fall from grace. Is he's just being lifted so high. Like, I just wish he would just watch that. Like, don't take all the praises, don't take all the negativity, because you're somewhere in the middle. In this world, this country, the media is gonna build you up to crumble your ass down, to tear your shit down, man.
I think one of the things he dealt with was a cousin of what you said you dealt with when you, and I don't want to misquote you, but you said something along the lines of like, "Hey, I have too big of an aura to be brought in if I'm not the guy." That if it's going like teams aren't going to want to have to deal with the media and the fanfare.
That's true. Who want to deal with a distraction with the second string quarterback? So Stephen A calls the Cleveland Browns starting Dylan Gabriel the right move. Okay, it's about time someone talked with some objectivity. Stephen A calling the Cleveland Browns starting Dylan Gabriel the right move. It is the right move. He was deemed your QB number 2. If you bench your starter, put the next man in.
That's me personally. I don't get that part. And here's the reason I'm saying that. Flacco knows Father Time has caught up to him, that he's not what he used to be. He's happy to be on an NFL roster to contribute in any way that he possibly can. He knows that he's a stopgap for the young guns coming up career. He knows that. So there's nothing wrong with putting him at the QB3 spot. He's there as a security blanket to some degree. He's not what he was just a couple of years ago when Deshaun Watson went down and he guided the Cleveland Browns to the postseason before they lost to the Houston Texans. He's not what he used to be then, okay? But still in all, he still belongs on an NFL roster because he brings a lot to the table in terms of helping youngsters on the come up. So I don't know why they don't have him at the QB3 and Sheduer at the QB2. I think that's trying to send a wrong message to a lot of folks.
It's not no message. Why would you put the starter quarterback? So if you take your starter and put him at third string, that's telling everybody that he was, from the jump, you thought he was third string material. No, you take your starter, you put him at backup because your starter has been in there the entire season. It's okay for him to back up. It's okay. Sheduer has been in that third QB role all season. It's okay to stay there if he's not becoming the starter. So what's going to happen is, if Dylan Gabriel goes out there and stinks it up, you want Sheduer to be the one to come in and clean it up? You don't know what you're going to run into trying to clean it up. Let Flacco go in there and clean that shit up, and then let Sheduer start his own game from start to finish.
Maybe they don't want folks clamoring for Sheduer prematurely or whatever, but in the end, the bottom line is this. I think it's clear, unless Dylan Gabriel just plays lights out and Cleveland is challenging for a postseason berth, which I don't see happening with that offense, which is ranked 31st and second to last in the league and 30th in their running attack, okay? I don't see that happening. If he played lights out, it would be different. But because I don't see that happening, I think around week 12, week 13, we can expect to see.
That's too far. Week 12, week 13, we're already in week 5, week 6. So you're giving Dylan Gabriel and Joe Flacco another 7 to 8 weeks, 6 to 7 weeks? Hell no. Sheduer Sanders will be in the game before then, unless Dylan Gabriel shows out. Now, there is a possibility that Dylan Gabriel does a great job because the offense is quarterback friendly. But Dylan Gabriel's stature, I don't believe he'll be able to hold up in the NFL. Even Sheduer, like Sheduer needs to get put on some muscle. He needs a faster twitch in his muscle response. He needs to be faster in all angles, releasing the football, running, getting out the pocket, moving up in the pocket. Sheduer just needs to become faster in a whole bunch of areas. But Sheduer's body, if you ask me, he's just a rookie, yeah, but his body not ready to take a beating in the NFL. You saw shit. He had to stay out during a preseason game because he had some kind of ailment. So Dylan Gabriel, I don't believe he's going to survive 6 weeks because I don't think his body can survive hits, and he runs the football. He scrambles. You know, if they get the tee off on that boy, Sheduer would be free. Hey yo, Sheduer might be in the game's second drive. Do you understand this? Oh no, well, Flacco. But even in a couple weeks, if shit ain't going right, you already know what's going to happen. So Sheduer needs to make sure he's ultimately ready for his opportunity. And if you squander your opportunity, your haters are going to be the loudest ever. So all this shit, bro, make sure you ready, man, because the world is watching.
See Sheduer Sanders.
I agree with you, Stephen A, with a little bit of apprehension because I think it's so petty that he's the number 3 quarterback still.
Why is it petty that he's number 3? Does he deserve to be number 2? If he deserves to be number 2 today, that means our number 1 never deserved to be number 1.
Inevitable. We knew the inevitable about Joe Flacco starting the rest of the season. You know Joe Flacco, like you. But the point
75% of consumers prefer to connect with their favorite brands through SMS. The slick
point is, and it still remains, that those two are in a better position for you to see what you have than Joe Flacco. So this is what the Cleveland Browns are telling us. Dylan Gabriel doesn't play well, like Stephen A said, 6 or 7 weeks. You gonna bring Joe Flacco back?
No.
For what?
No. Like, bro, why people be acting like bro, you played in the NFL locker room before. No. If Dylan Gabriel doesn't do well, then you bring Sheduer in to start, and then you leave Flacco as the backup. Why is it so hard to understand?
That's my question.
Why is niggas acting like this? Why are we defending Sheduer Sanders more than we need to? He a grown-ass man.
I don't think they will bring Flacco back. I think the 3-2 thing is not that big a deal to me because I do think what Steve said is right. I think by the end of the day, unless Gabriel is Brian Sipe, I think at the end of the day, you will see Sheduer play some this year. I think by the end of the year, you, me, and Stevie, and everybody who cares will have an idea if the quarterback of the future on the Browns is on the roster.
Yep.
And I think he'll give both a chance to show what they can do in the next 13, 14 weeks. I don't know the issues about why Flacco is 2. Maybe they don't feel it's too hard to get both quarterbacks ready on a game in Europe.
Right.
So if Gabriel gets hurt, you got a rookie there, so that's tricky. At least if Gabriel got hurt, you put Flacco back in the game. He knows the offense. Maybe Sheduer needs more work. That could be the reason.
Yep.
I am going to trust Stefanski.
Yes.
I think Stefanski is a good man. I think he's a pretty good coach. He hasn't had a lot to work with. I think he's a pretty good man, and I'm going to trust him that he is not pushing Sheduer aside because of Dion's influence or anything like that. That's the way I'm going to look at it.
I've always had a soft spot for Stefanski.
His father.
Because I know his father as Stefanski. I've known him for many, many years. Love the man dearly. Hope to see you soon, buddy. And Stefanski is a 2-time coach of the year. The man could coach. We know he knows something or two about football, but we can't ignore the politics that come along with Sheduer. And that's why the situation is a little bit different, Doggy, which is what I keep trying to tell you. You're looking at it QB1, QB2, QB3. It's not that big of a deal. Well, it also wasn't a big deal that the average quarterback would go in the 4th round or the 5th round. In Sheduer Sanders' case, 144th overall, it mattered. Yep. You know that, Peter. You know that, Swag. It matters because it was Sheduer Sanders, and we got the impression that it wasn't just football, it was something about his dad. So what I'm saying to you is that we're beyond all of that now to some degree, and we get that part. But that doesn't mean the residue doesn't still exist in terms of people wanting to control the narrative when it comes to that young man. You're not saying that you're not going to make football decisions. What you're saying is that there are other things
Come
that
on, Peter.
Glass, the sands are coming down because as every week goes by, that's another week that Sheduer Sanders will not get the opportunity to prove that I am the quarterback of the future because they will have 2 first-round picks next year.
And see that. Go ahead.
Well, they got to give Gabriel a chance too. I mean, he might be pretty good. Who knows?
just
But not
about
just
to say.
that. I just got to know that he played 64 games over 6 college seasons for 3 different programs, all right? And he turns 25 in December. So he's an elder in terms of a guy coming into the league.
Sure.
He's got experience and whatever. You give him, but he's your QB1. That's why he's your starter. So we get that part. Nobody's questioning that he deserves this opportunity to start. What we're saying is it's clear that Sheduer should be a QB2. Why?
No, it's clear that Sheduer Sanders is not ready. Why can't Sheduer Sanders not be ready? No one. This is the problem, Sheduer. Damn. Yo, Sheduer, don't listen to the media. Listen to your inner. Well, shit. Might not let me say listen to your inner self, bro. You gotta step outside yourself and be able to look at self-evaluate, man. Self-evaluate, man. Cause these guys are just going to drive you down, bro. It's not good advice.
What we're saying is it's clear that Sheduer should be a QB2. Why?
It's clear he should be a QB2. No, it's clear he's not ready. Like, why no one can believe that Sheduer just might not be ready? Do you see what happens when people do that? They're uplifting Sheduer so high that the fall from grace is going to be perpetual.
Why are you acting like he should be the QB3
Man,
behind
that's
Joe
my
Flacco?
point. Like you pulled Joe Flacco for development now. You're telling everybody we're trying to develop and find out who our quarterback is. Now, I'm like you in this sense. What your last name is or who your daddy is. But ultimately, it's about the opportunity. And you telling me that Flacco is the backup, if Dylan Gabriel doesn't play well, you're now not developing Sheduer Sanders, or at least getting a look at what he could potentially be.
Sheduer different than everybody else? Bro, I can't, man. The media, dog. This is why I started this shit, man. Because the media is just going to sugarcoat. They're going to uplift Sheduer in ways that are abnormal to someone of his talent level. And then if he doesn't perform up to what we have talked him up to be, then it's going to be the worst case scenario. That, man, content going to go up if that happens. Or content going up regardless. As soon as Sheduer start, content going up. But, man, Sheduer, bro, you just got to stay focused, bro. Stay focused and keep working. And look at this as a blessing in disguise. Do you want to start in Europe? No. Do you want to start for a team that hasn't won in a couple weeks? No. Like, take your turns, bro. Your time will come. You just got to wait your turn.